mother is Gladys Barnum,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm the great niece of P.T. Barnum. And if you go to Mesa to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, upstairs in the visitor center, they have the best genealogy system for free. That you
Really?
can go and see what your bloodline is. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
Yep.
That is absolutely
So I'm proud of that.
awesome.
The clowning. I know it's got a bad rap with the Stephen
No,
King
it's fine.
and all the
There's
scary
nothing
clowns,
wrong
but
with it. I
think there's
love
a
what
place-
you're doing here.
Yeah.
I stopped right away. I turned this corner and I was like, I'm gonna park, and then I attempted the first park.
well, hopefully you can help me get my message out because I don't have social media going or anything.
This is definitely what we're gonna do.
I started with a couple of the churches and they weren't open to it. They said that the other thing is I think I read in the newspaper that it was like $6 or $9 million that the city of Phoenix spent on cool down stations last year, so that the older people and homeless people have a place to go get it when it gets 120 degrees. But all they had to do is call the churches and say, hey, if it gets over 100 degrees, can you open your doors and turn on the air conditioning and give people free water? They wouldn't have to pay. They wouldn't have to pay anything because the churches would have done it for free.
Yeah, because
they would
they're
have the opportunity.
nonprofit.
Well, because they have the opportunity for people to come to their church, and then you get the tithing going and all that, and there's a benefit for the church to get more people coming to their church because it's a type of fruit.
Yeah, you seem like you know a lot. And
Yeah,
like
I
you've
just
been
need
through
to
a
talk
lot.
to people.
Yeah,
I like being homeless, and you'd be surprised that a lot of people are like nomads. So the hunters, gatherers, or the wanderers. Nomads.
Okay,
are
I gotta
wanderers.
ask you. I gotta play devil's advocate. You just said out of your mouth that you like being homeless.
A lot of people
Elaborate.
do. A lot of people do. They don't want to get housing. They don't want to get off the street. They like the lifestyle, and they're not trying to get off the street. So all these programs that are out there to get people off the street, I'm doing something different because they don't want to get off the street. But we need a place to go when it's 30 degrees or 40 degrees at night and it's freezing or it's raining. We need a safe place to be able to go.
Yeah,
but like
true.
I said, they've got a bad reputation because a lot of them just leave trash or leave stuff everywhere. And I mean, to their defense, sometimes emergencies happen or whatever. You got to leave your stuff, but for the most part, I've seen it firsthand.
Where it gets bad, not to interrupt you, ma'am, is when they. Like I don't know if you've seen that being over here, because I don't know if it's came this far yet, but like, for instance, Scottsdale Road and Curry, we'll say.
Okay.
There's literally 30 people, 15 people to a bus stop, smoking on the glass.
Which is nonsense because they shouldn't be doing drugs in front of kids.
You see, that's
another thing, and it should not be something that we just look away at. In my opinion, I am passionate about no fentanyl because it'll kill you. I almost had an overdose when I was in Mexico. I was doing 13 pills a day. It was about 6 weeks long, but I got off of it. But what I do is if I see someone smoking the blue off their fentanyl tray, I grab their drug and I run away like a track star. They can't catch me because they're laying like this. So I literally grab their drug like it's a 2-year-old with a knife and I run away. I'm going to get shot.
You are amazing.
But if we would all do that. I was trying to start Gangster Girls for Gods where we go on the light rail just packing, carrying some heat and dare them to mess with us and we'll just take their drugs away. And I don't know if it's probably not going to help because you look at like Shot in the Dark, which Shot in the Dark, you know what they are. They're a good program, and they give you free condoms and free rigs for people that do the drugs.
They give you rigs,
bubbles.
they give you the cotton and all that.
And the idea of that is to keep you from getting diseases and from spreading diseases. And so in a way, they're advocating that that's my kind of philosophy is people are still going to be homeless and they're still going to be doing drugs. So what do we do about that part?
Try to fix it.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Wow, I'm so glad
And I'm not on anything except caffeine pills. I take.
I was just gonna ask you.
There are 200 milligrams of caffeine, but I take like 6 of them at a time. So I'm zinging on caffeine.
You're zooming, huh?
I try to get all the people on meth off of that and do the Vivarin.
Oh yeah, but hey, caffeine is a hell of a lot better than meth.
Yeah,
any day
your teeth
of the
won't
week.
fall out.
Yeah, that, and you're 100%,
Right.
and you don't start seeing shadow people after 2-3 days.
Well, they say after 3 days of being awake, whether you are bipolar for mental illness or you have insomnia or you're on a drug, if you're awake for 3 days clinically, psychologically, you are psychotic.
It's
You're
psyop.
You're
It's
literally
like
psychotic.
Yeah,
I'll
agree.
psychotic state of mind after 3 days of no sleep.
I'll agree.
Because your body will be basically awake, dreaming awake, and you'll start seeing stuff.
Or you'll start doing things without even knowing that you're doing.
Yeah, and bad decisions.
In other words, so it's like a psyop like you said, yeah, psychotic, I guess, you know, where you're just doing things like a robot.
Yeah.
Just, you're on autopilot,
Yeah.
so to speak.
And the other thing that pisses me off is they have these freaking signs around here that say it's okay to say no to panhandlers. It is not okay to say no. If I want $1, give me $1 because I'm going to buy my hygiene or I'm going to buy something that I need.
They have a sign.
They
that
have
says
signs that say
too.
it's okay to say no to panhandlers, and they have them up
that's
around
messed
town. Is it how you say that?
I
But
never seen
Bashas.
Bashes
over here.
Yeah.
They have a sign over there by the McDonald's and Bashes.
Yeah, I never seen
And
that.
every time I see it, I lay it down on the ground because it's nonsense.
That's awful. I would do the same thing.
But most people are generous and they'll help you if they. The problem is that people are asking for their $1 to buy their blues, and then they feel bad because they're getting someone. But it's your job to help the homeless people, and it's not up to you to decide what are they going to do with their money and have an excuse in your head of why you can't give somebody $1 because you think they're going to buy alcohol or drugs with it. It's just like people won't go to church and tithe their 10% because they think that the church is going to misappropriate their funds. Your job is to give the money and the karma of the goodness of the money karma. There's something to it.
It happens. It all goes full circle.
Yes,
you know.
Yes.
You gotta help your fellow brethren. You know.
You never
and
know.
I think that
happen.
we've lost empathy. This world is just gone crazy. I don't know what to think of it.
It's gonna be okay though.
Yeah, it should be.
It will. It's gonna be awesome.
I hope so.
It will.
but isn't it unique? I mean, at one time, you know, life was just, you know, playing Matchbox cards. Everything was good. You can go to your neighbor for a thing of eggs.
Yes.
I mean, times were a lot different.
But our youngsters are not. This new generation is not going to kill themselves to get a 3,000 square foot house anymore. Now, they're not going to. Their work ethic is a lot less than my generation because I'm 48, and you know what I'm saying, that generation. But in their defense, they are much more giving and much more into causes and charities and things like that than we were.
100%.
So they're trying to make a
internet.
difference in their life, whether it be recycling or whatever their passion is. They're a lot more passionate about that stuff, which is a good thing because Mother Earth is going to shake us off like a bad case of fleas if we don't knock it off with the litter.
Man, you got to go to the hill. You need to go to the hill. The hill. It's Papago Park. Everybody meets there. They feed every day, but Tuesday, Aries Foundation feeds on Broadway and McKellar.
Feeds like we're animals.
I knew you were gonna. You know what?
You can go.
How
you
did
can eat
I
for free.
know? You know
Here's
what?
how you eat
I
for
knew
free.
you were gonna say that.
I go into the deli. I have food
hate
stamps.
that too.
I go into the deli and I get 2 samples, and that fills me up for lunch. I got seafood salad and an anapasta salad for my lunch. They just gave me 2 samples, and it's free to get a sample from the deli. There's all kinds of ways that you can get. I'll go to a restaurant, and if I want pizza, I'll see somebody come out with a box of pizza and ask them for a slice of pizza, and they'll give me a slice of pizza. Or if you're specific, asking you shall receive in the Bible is literal. You just ask specifically what you want. So I'll go to a restaurant and say, hey, will you buy me something to eat? And they will. Almost always, if you ask somebody to buy you something to eat, they will. So that way you eat more nutritious and you eat better foods than when you go to a nicer restaurant than if you're eating out of a gas station.
You're different than 99% of the homeless people that I've ever.
I'm trying to teach them, you know?
Yeah, you know what you're doing. It's
I'm
like,
trying.
And how long have you been out here?
Well, I went to Mexico around the COVID time, around 2019, and I lived there for about 8 or 9 months in Algodones, where the dentists are. And then they stole my car. It was my trophy from Verizon, because Verizon gave me a $90,000 severance package, and I bought that car on my 40th birthday. And they took it. But that's a long story. But that's kind of when I became homeless down in Yuma.
Yeah.
And then I even did jail time because I had a cop trying to find a bubble or a knife on me. Somebody hit me in a park in Yuma, and they put me in cuffs, and I freaked out, and I spit on the police officer, so I got attempted assault. I did 9 months in county and 1 month in Perryville, which is how I got to Phoenix. But it's just like Paul in the Bible and all the disciples that went to jail and had prison time.
And you really had to do 9 months?
I couldn't relate to it unless I was in prison and jail time. And that's another nonsense thing, is people get these DUIs or whatever, and there was a pastor that was in jail with me, and she was doing 5 months for a DUI. And you come out after 5 months, whether you're a pastor or anything, if you don't have the family to support you, your apartment's gone, your car payment is late, and you haven't paid your car payment, you lost your car, and you're basically homeless. And then you have a record too on top of that, so how are you going to get a good job?
It just don't work.
So it's just,
hard.
it's not.
It's hard.
So you know what you do with those people? You make them clean up litter for their 4 months or 5 months. That would pick up the litter.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Well, we have a law about littering, right? That if you litter on the ground, that you're in trouble, but we don't enforce it. It's like jaywalking.
Yeah.
So my thing is it should be, if somebody litters, then you're in trouble and you have to pick up a bag of garbage the next day for your punishment. And oh, by the way, if you walk past litter and you see litter on the ground and you don't pick it up, you're also in trouble. And then citizens arrest. Let the 12-year-old kids in higher do a citizen's arrest on Grandpa. I saw you litter. You're in trouble.
Yeah.
Make it fun and funny, and make it not a terrible punishment that's going to mess up your record.
You got a lot of good ideas. I don't know necessarily that they'll work.
I know.
But at least
I gotta get Elon Musk on my side.
At least you're trying to implement something.
Yeah, I have some ideas.
It's better than not doing nothing.
Right, that's what I say. If you're gonna have a problem or a complaint, at least have a couple ideas of what you can do to fix it.
At least.
And we should be going to our youngsters, the kids that are like in junior high school, and asking these thought experiments, because they probably have ideas that I haven't even thought about. Yeah,
like check me out. I mean, this channel, At the Street Blues. Why do you think it's a double entendre?
Oh yeah.
The Street Blues.
Yeah.
When you're out here on the streets, of course you have blues. It's
the sad.
And then
it's
the
not
other
that
blues.
sad. It's a lot of fun. You should try it.
And then those other blues. But you'd be surprised about like what you said earlier about. There's a lot of people out here who I've ran into who said this is just a social experiment.
Yeah. Well, there's people out here. There's
like,
a difference
what?
between regular homelessness, where you go through a bad spot, maybe you're between housing or whatever, and it's for a couple weeks, and then there's chronic homelessness. I consider chronic homelessness because I think it's by law that you've been homeless, more than 6 months of the last year or something like that. There's some kind of a measurement that they do on it.
Yeah.
So there's chronic homelessness, and then there's temporary. And the temporary is where we've got to really get them, if they want to be a producing member of society and get back on their feet, we really need to help them do that and to get back out off the street. But people that like it, we need to do something to make it so that they're not trashing everything and we're all on the same team, right? We're all human beings, we're all on planet Earth, and we need to help each other as much as possible.
Yeah, help your fellow brethren. I mean, do you have kids?
I have a daughter, she's 28, she'll be 29 next month. I'm really proud of her.
How does she feel about your situation?
Oh, she's kind of mad about it, but I can understand that. Yeah. But I don't want to live in Colorado because it's cold there.
Man, you're not lying. I'm black. We don't do cold.
I know, it's
Us tropical people.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in the heat all day long.
Yeah, and it's cold today too. I'm chilly too.
Yeah, isn't that
started to rain
something?
a little bit. Yeah.
Well, let me see. I'm still
so
good.
tag every church in the United States on this video.
Yeah, I don't know if I can tag all of them.
Tag them.
My wife, she's the one that does that, so I have her tag a lot.
The churches. I would love to have a church reach out to me and say, hey, I'm going to raise my hand as a small church. I think that.
Do you have a Cash App?
Nope, I don't have a Cash App. Nope. But I think the way to do it is to get some small churches to do it, and then see how it goes with them, and then get the bigger churches to do it.
Is this your?
Well, I only stay in each place for like a week, and then I keep.
Well,
I was just. I love
smart.
Tempe too. Yeah, you don't want to stay too long in one spot.
You are a smart cookie. Hey, that's funny.
I have a college degree.
No, but you're smart because a lot of other people don't think like you. They'll stay and then burn a place up, and then now cops are. I mean, the urban camping thing is real.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Well, we're ostracized like the black people. I'm telling you. When I go into a store, they make me put my bags up. And if somebody came in a business suit, even as a black man, then they wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
So it's not fair how they're treating us. It's a class thing. So the only way that we could get protected under Martin Luther King Jr. would be if we were considered a familia, I guess. Because a familia is protected, or family line, right?
Yeah.
Like a bloodline.
Yeah.
So that might be a way to get protected. But other than that, we need to do something to protect the homeless people. And I don't know what the answer is to that, other than what I'm trying to do with the churches. But it's not, and it's policies. So these stores can have their own policy and their own rules.
Yeah, they don't even let you bring your bags.
But if they were doing it as a racism thing against black people, it would be really bad for their. It'd be bad for their reputation, because it would get advertised or like put on the news.
It would be all over the world.
Right, but they're getting away with it, and they're allowed to trespass us, and we have nowhere to go where it's safe. That's my thing about like Circle K. I don't hang out at Circle K because because it's a place to do drugs. It's because it has cameras. It's open 24/7 because the Walmarts aren't anymore.
Yeah.
And I could have a class action lawsuit against Phoenix because my bladder hurts and I have nowhere to pee except on the ground. And that's entrapment because if I pee on the ground, that's indecent exposure. And if a youngster sees me, that's a pedophile.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
So that's nonsense.
Yeah.
There's nowhere. They should have J. Johns or a place. The parks have restrooms and they won't even have those open. And we're in trouble if we go in the park after hours. So this is just a bunch of shit that's pretty simple to fix if somebody would just listen to me.
Yeah, yeah. You hit the nail on the head.
Where do you go to the restroom?
Sad.
What would
Where?
you do?
What do you have to
And
just
you can't.
live.
Circle K is not required to keep us in a place to go to the restroom. So they close their restrooms down at 11 o'clock because they don't want people going in there doing blues, and I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Because you have an old person or a little kid go in there and they could get sick from the smell of it in the air.
Yeah.
You know, so I can understand where they're coming from. It's not their job. The city is required by law to have support for their homeless people. It's part of the bylaws or whatever.
It's just what it is. They have to.
They have a certain requirement.
They literally get a certain amount of money every year.
Yeah. Grants.
Just for
right.
homeless people.
And there's a lot of programs out there that I know that St. Vinny's does a ton, Mary St. Mary's Food Bank, Cass, all those places are all really great places. I'm not trying to compete with them.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to do something different that they're not already doing.
Yeah, something that's gonna work.
See, I've been working on it for a little while, but
yeah. How long have you been working on this and doing this?
Probably about 6 months now.
So for me, it's only been about 5 months that I've been doing this, and I don't know. I think we've been making a difference.
Yeah.
I mean, it works. You know, I love to hear people's stories. Like, this is such a unique story. There's no way I can't get this out. This has to get out. This is amazing.
There's all kinds of things. Like hotels have showers, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking I could go to some of the bigger hotels and say, hey, hotel, you know, whatever, Hampton, you could be the first hotel that advertises that you support the homeless community because you're a hotel, right? And it's nomads. And they could open up when they do the cleaning, from like 11 a.m. checkout until about 2 or 3 o'clock when they're cleaning. They can let homeless people have 1 or 2 showers. And each hotel, we'd all have a shower. If all the showers gave 1 or 2 for a couple hours a day, everybody would have a place to shower.
That's crazy.
It's little stuff like that. I mean, the Anytime Fitnesses, all those places have showers.
Yeah.
Or anybody that wants to get involved with helping the homeless, if you have a membership to Anytime Fitness, ask a homeless person, would you like to go and have a shower at my gym? Because they can take a guest for free.
That's true.
And that's another way, if they don't want to give money, they can do that.
Yeah.
To help people.
That's good. You're good. Well, I just
you.
want to let you know, this was one of my most unique interviews that I've ever had.
Oh, that's good. Thank you.
That was awesome.
That's good.
That was cool.
Keep an eye on me and let me know.
Yeah, I am. Most definitely.
I'd like to meet the guy, if you could do it in person. To meet the person that's feeding the homeless people. Did you say his name was Austin?
Austin Davis.
Yeah, I'd love to meet him.
Yeah,
See
definitely. He's cool. That's my phone.
Okay.
But yeah, I definitely would love to set that up. I want to give him your number. Do you have a phone by any
Yeah, I
chance?
just got an Obama phone again. Let's see already.
Yeah, I'll have to set it up somehow, but I just want to let you know that you're an amazing person, and I'm glad I stopped and got to meet you. You know.
Thank you. I'm meeting all
hopefully
the right people.
I could see you again. And the next time I see you, let's hope that you're in a better situation than you are now. And I want to just thank you so much for this interview. It was amazing.
No problem. God's got me meeting people like you that I'm supposed to meet, so it's kind of like I'm on the right path. So I just know it's good. So it's good. So
thank you so much, man. Have a good one. All right.
You too, honey. All right.